There I was, importing historical sales orders. Okay, let's go ahead and confirm this. No, I've already done the deliveries. ODOO, just trying to be helpful, is creating the deliveries, and later it'll create the invoices and everything else. But I've already done all that. I need a way to confirm this sales order and show that it's been fully delivered and invoiced. And maybe you do too. So first things first, let's make sure we're on the home screen and that we've got developer mode turned on. Now let's go ahead and duplicate our tab, and we're going to go ahead and go to server actions in this second tab here. Let's go ahead and create a new one, and we're going to go ahead and call this set to sales order and deliver and invoice all lines. The model we're doing this on is sales order. Allowed groups we don't really care about right now, and we're going to be executing code, which this used to be a drop down, so if it's a drop down for you, just make sure and drop it down and say execute Python code. So clearing out ODOO's helpful stuff, we're going to start with for record in records. Again, meaning that we want to run this code for every record that we've selected with the checkbox, or for the record that we're in currently. And now we're going to give ourselves some helpful prompts. So we're going to say set status to sales order as one step, set invoiced status to invoiced, and we're going to say for each sales order line set to fully delivered and fully invoiced. So now let's hop over to our other tab and go into sales, and we're going to go into Studio real quick. The first field that we need to get is status, which our technical name is state. And beyond that, we need to know the value that we need to set. So we're trying to set everything to sales order. So we need to set state to the string sale right here. So let's hop back over to our code. We're going to go ahead and say record. Field state, we want to equal sale. So that takes care of that first piece. Now let's go ahead and find our invoiced status. So with this, the reason that we know we need to find the invoice status is because we can look at this menu and we can look at orders to invoice. And we can see that this action is giving us everything that has invoice status to invoice. And we don't want it to show up in here anymore because that confuses people. So let's go ahead and go find our invoice status field. So we're going to go back out to views. We're going to go to list. We're going to go to view and show invisible elements because we're not seeing it yet. We're going to come over here and find our invoiced status, which is right here. So if we click on that, we can see that the field name is invoice status and that we want to look at it and say we want that to show as invoiced. Hopping back over to the code, we're going to say record invoice status equals invoiced. Okay. Now we're going to go into this next piece where we affect the order line. And we're going to say for LNE, so just a random variable, in record dot, and we need to go into the form view to see what the name of this field is. So we see order lines here. This is order underscore line. Let's go over to the code and say for LNE in record order underscore line. So now we have our record set that we need to loop through, but we need the fields that we need to set for it to show as delivered and fully invoiced. So let's go over to our code. Let's go into edit list view because we want to look at this record. And we're going to go ahead and show invisible elements so we can see everything here. Okay, so we have our delivered quantity. So quantity delivered. So we want to come back over here and we want to say LNE. So for this line, we're going to say quantity delivered equals something. And we're going to go back and get our quantity invoiced as well. So let's look for that real quick. So that's our invoice quantity. That's quantity invoiced. We're going to copy this over and set that right here. So what's the value we want this set to? Well, we're going to close out and go into an actual order just to make sure we've got this correct. So we want it set to this quantity. So we're going to go into Studio, go to the list view, go to quantity, and that's product UOM quantity. So we're going to say each of these need to equal quantity that we got from back here. And that way it shows as fully invoiced and fully delivered. So let's go ahead and save. And then we're going to create our contextual action here and go test it out. So let's go over here. We've got some orders into invoice, which are prime candidates for us to test this out on. So we see sales order 62. Let's look and see if we've got our code. So we've got set sales order and deliver and invoice all lines. So it was already a sales order, so it didn't change anything there, but we see the delivered and invoice quantity are set and we got no errors. So it looks like we're good. Nice work. Before we run away, let's go back out to the list view and savor this. So we have 21 here. We're going to do all but sales order 66. And we're going to go to our actions, set to sales order and deliver and invoice all lines. And look at that. It's a thing of beauty. I hope you enjoyed that little studio customization case. I've seen a lot of people use this on imports, or potentially you can use it in an automated action or something else where you want to just finish off a record based on a certain criteria. So stay tuned. We're going to do some more cases like this that help you get comfortable with doing customizations with Studio, automated actions, and other tools inside of ODOO.